Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're looking at spots off the beaten path in Zelda games that most players miss. Obviously, if you're a super fan, we probably won't mention something you don't already know. But for most players, these spots are easily missed on a standard playthrough. But before we dive in, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Lake Saria, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. The nature of Tears of the Kingdom and its predecessor is that they're so big and so filled with secrets that there are multiple locations that could go on a list like this. Inside the Great Hyrule Forest, you can find a small lake named after Saria, the forest sage from Ocarina of Time. And yes, that is how I've always said her name, move past it. But getting there takes a bit of work, and is completely optional, so it's easy to miss. Since the forest is covered in fog that will reset Link's location, you must first reach the Ninja's Shrine by skydiving to it from above. Once there, you might notice some nearby glowing mushrooms. Only if you follow the exact path of these mushrooms through the fog will you reach the lake, which holds a chest with a forest dweller's bow, a pretty nice reward. Zelda's Room, The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. Unless you're trying to do everything in Skyward Sword, it's likely you'll miss the opportunity to enter Zelda's locked bedroom in the Skyloft Knights Academy. You can only do this after you've completed the Lanayru region's Silent Realm and earned the Claw Shots, which happens late in the game. Back at home, Link uses them to enter a chimney on the Academy's roof, which lets him crawl into Zelda's room. There are some great Easter eggs in here, like a Tingle doll and Zelda's diary, as well as a piece of heart. It's also the only way to see that Zelda's father, the headmaster, is the one constantly hogging the bath at night. The Graveyard, The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. Inside the grounds of Twilight Princess's Hyrule Castle, just after getting the dungeon map, players can find a graveyard. But the reason it is so easily missed is that it's hidden on the other side of a wall. The only way to get inside is to transform into Wolf Link and use your senses to find a diggable spot, of which there is no indicator to do. There are some extra enemies inside, as well as a puzzle that leads to a small key. This optional key comes in handy towards the end of the dungeon, as it opens a room full of supplies and rupees. It's obviously unnecessary, but an interesting extra location in the final dungeon that most of us likely missed on a first playthrough. The Hidden Heart, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Sometimes Nintendo hides something that completely confuses the fanbase. Dodongo's Cavern is the second dungeon in Ocarina of Time, and its mini-bosses are a pair of Lizalfos, fought on 2 occasions. The first time you fight them is in a room with a lava fall right next to the door you enter. Well, at the leftmost end of this lava fall, you can jump through unscathed to find a small hidden chamber with a single recovery heart inside. Naturally, most wouldn't think to jump through pure molten magma, and maybe it's because most of us have played this game a billion times, but this fight is pretty easy. Easy enough that you wouldn't need an extra recovery heart, even if you knew it was there. Lionel Den, The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. We're cheating a little bit with this one. While the location itself isn't a secret, the full scope of what it offers is. Towards the end of Echoes of Wisdom, Zelda heads to the Eternal Forest. Inside, there's one wide open space that doesn't seem to hold any purpose. However, this is the den of the only Lionel in the game. In order for it to appear so you can get the most powerful echo in the game, you must first find the starting point of the monster's hoof marks. Heading in the direction they lead lets you find several other spots like it, eventually leading you back to this space where the Lionel will now be waiting. Rimlet Meadow. The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword. There's another hidden spot in Skyloft that's easily missed, and it also requires Link to have the claw shots. During the day, Link can find Mia, a single rimlet, around town. But at night, when rimlets turn evil and violent, there's a whole pack of them running around. If you've wondered where the rest of these are when the sun is up, the answer lies near the goddess statue. You'll find a claw shot spot off to the side, which leads to an otherwise unreachable spot where the group of rimlets lounge in a small patch of flowers. There's not really anything else to do here, but it's nonetheless adorable. Forest Stage. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The Lost Woods in Ocarina of Time hold a lot of neat rewards, some of which can be hard to find. After entering, if you go right, left, left, you'll come across a spot off the beaten path. There's a hole hidden by grass, but marked by butterflies. Dropping down, Link will find a group of Deku Scrubs in need of entertainment. Even if you do find the forest stage, knowing what to do here is somewhat obscure without looking it up. The Dekus will have different reactions depending on what mask young Link wears from his trading quest. The Skull Mask gets him a Deku Stick carrying capacity upgrade, while the Mask of Truth gets one for his Deku Nuts. The Keaton Mask gets him rupees, and the others cause the Dekus to attack. The Gerudo Weapon Stash. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Like we said, the nature of Breath of the Wild's size means there are a lot of places one could easily miss. In the desert region, just northwest of the Gerudo Tower, you can find a cave blocked by boulders. The color of the rocks makes them blend in, so you can walk right past without even noticing. But if you move them using stasis, you'll find a treasure trove inside. There's a decent haul of weapons, including an Edge of Duality, a Radiant Shield, and a golden bow. There are also a few treasure chests, one of which holds 300 rupees. Not too shabby. The Supply Room. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. If you find yourself running low on supplies before heading to the final confrontation with Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time, you're in luck. Underneath the bridge that leads to the stairs that take you higher in the castle, equipping the Lens of Truth reveals a hidden room with fairies and business scrubs. Once Link deflects their seeds, they'll sell him a variety of goods. Green potion for 40 rupees, 5 bombs for 40 rupees, 30 arrows for 70 rupees, and red potion for 40 rupees. Even if you don't feel like spending money, a room full of fairies is always appreciated. But since this spot is hidden without the Lens of Truth, it's likely you'll miss it unless someone tells you it's there. Chris Houlihan's Room. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. We couldn't talk about secret Zelda locations without mentioning Chris Houlihan. His room is likely something many of us have heard about, even if most of us have never found it ourselves. The story goes that Chris won a contest in Nintendo Power to have his name put into a future game. There are several methods to reach it, but it's meant to be a failsafe for when the game detects an error in Link's Y coordinate, which is why it's hard to find on a regular playthrough. Inside, you'll find 45 blue rupees and a telepathy tile where Chris asks you to keep his top secret room between the two of you. It's one of the most famous secrets in A Link to the Past, even if it remains hard to find. Are there any other secret spots in Zelda you feel most players miss? Share it with us in the comments, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great gaming videos every day.